Hello everyone, welcome back to my floor. I'm already laughing. This idea is so absurd. Story time. I, like many among me in this time of plague, belong to several online forums, and I am a regular chat member of a Twitch streamer. To make a long story short, I ordered a pizza over the weekend, and I was very excited about it because it was my first order in pizza in a very long time, and I was explaining to everyone how excited I was about this pizza. And one of my fellow chat members said that he too liked pizza, but then he went on to describe bread with ketchup and cheese on it, and it made every Italian cell of my body burn with rage. I was like, how dare you? That's disgusting. And then he, of course, egged me on by saying, oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna, do a rage response painting by throwing your pizza at the canvas? And of course, I would never do that because I don't waste good pizza. But I think I actually have to do this painting, like in paint. Like I think I have to do it. I think I have to make a response rage pizza-centric painting. I think this is going to require some brainstorming and some narrowing down of ideas because I'm feeling really inspired, but I also realize that there are so many different avenues where I could take this. I could make a painting of pizza that has rage on it. I could make a painting of rage that has pizza in it. Dadgummit, by the end of this video, we're going to have a painting that encapsulates rage and pizza. I believe it can be done. So join me on this journey while I express my heritage through my creativity, and I get that sucker back good. Okay, so in my first attempt at looking for inspiration on the internets, I just decided to Google pizza portrait. You need to see this. Just look how creative people are. This is pizza with old blue eyes on it. That's amazing to me. Oh my god, look at this one. It's Simon Cowell. I'm dying. Is that a real pizza? It's got corn on it, which is an interesting choice. Olives for his hair, and I want to say that these are like sliced cross sections of garlic used to do his skin. Oh, here we go. We got some Riri. There's just a wealth of inspiration here. Oh, this is very fitting. Look, there we have Rage. I have no idea who this person is. Oh, okay. Athlete pizza portraits, Uruguay World Cup team. I have zero knowledge about sports of any kind or any sports players, but this fellow's skin looks like it's made of ham. That's pretty creative. But this pizza also looks like it hasn't been put in the oven yet, so I mean, I feel like it's kind of cheating. The Riri ones are fantastic. Someone put a freaking diamond earring in the pizza. Please don't eat that. This one has been cooked. Oh my god, look at that nightmare fuel. Oh, here's another Simon Cowell. See, I like this one because it's a lot simpler than the ones with the olive hair. But that's pretty rad. Oh. It's a pizza pope. Marvelous. I feel like if I were to do something like this, I'd just be painting a pizza that had a face on it. I think that might be a little bit too easy. You know what else I was kind of interested in trying to find out is, do you remember Rage Face? This guy. Do you remember him? This was like early to mid 2000s memery gold right here. So maybe I could be a little bit inspired by him because he's Rage. I think that if somehow I can incorporate my own rage, like my own visage that has been enraged. Would it be me throwing pizza? Would it be me made of pizza? I feel my camera is tilted right now. We are just this is Dutch angle territory. We are talking some serious mind-bending. You know what? I feel like I need to do some thumbnailing. So yeah, let's do that. Let's do some thumbnailing. Okay, you guys remember this thing. It's looking pretty good, except for the fact that it is kind of ripping inside the book, and I'm not sure that that was actually my fault. I think that might just be a structural issue with how the book itself was made, and I'm just gonna continue to say that to myself. In fact, I'm tired of looking at that. Let's flip it around this way. Okay, so we have some thumbnailing to do. We'll go mechanical for this guy. So Okay, so you're gonna hear me talking because in the original video you couldn't hear a thing that I said, and also I wanted to speed it up a little bit just because this video is gonna be quite long. My first ideas were really just sort of gestural, where I was putting little figures of myself in these thumbnails where I was, being very physically expressive. The first one was me sort of marching forward, made of melty cheese, and then the second one was a little bit more horrific. I was sort of ripping my face apart, and there were ribbons of cheese in the middle of the two sections of my torn head. And then in the third one, I decided to get a little meta with it. I was like, oh, what if I just made a painting of me hurling pizza at a canvas? That was an idea. And then the last idea was just sort of a revisitation of the second idea where I was ripping my head apart, but I was sort of stooped over in my rage and I was raining pepperonis. It's not often that I actually thumbnail, but I thought it was worth it to get a narrowing down of ideas because this was going to be kind of a complex piece. Okie dokie, I'm back. We're regrouping because I had another idea and I thought it was genius and it's time for me to share it with you. I ended up revisiting my sketchbook like a couple hours later because I had like this strike of inspiration and I didn't record it, but I am going to show it to you. Okay, so we're back to my sketchbook, and as you can see, there have been new sketches added. I began here where I was like, oh, I love the idea of like this pizza box that's like springing open, because if I am the pizza, then I am like coming out to haunt your dreams. And I thought that was hilarious, but I was just sort of standing there. I was sort of copying this picture that I took, a reference picture, where I had put my camera on top of my refrigerator so that it was giving me this very dramatic top-down angle. I'll probably post that on the screen so that you know what I'm talking about. And I just sort of quickly drew it in. And I was like, what? Why am I just standing there? That's not me made of pizza at all. So then I went back to the drawing board. I am emerging from the pizza like a saucy swamp monster, and there's going to be greasy handprints on the lid. So I think this is a good direction to go in. I think I'm finally narrowing down my idea. I can't wait to show it to this guy and be like, see what you birthed? See what you inspired in me? This is my revenge. Okay. Before you judge me, let me just say that I am really proud of what I've discovered so far about this. In my choice to incorporate the style where I trace my images and therefore keep realistic proportion, that I have truly created an eldritch monster. Here we go. This is this is what we're working with. First I drew the box, then I drew the background, and we're going for like a rustic style Italian kitchen with the red brick walls and the marble countertops. And then springing forth from the box is me rising up as this cheesy slime monster. And first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, I'm not sorry. I'm really excited. This was a choice. I'm committing to this choice. It's disgusting. We're gonna roll with it. I began this on a Sunday morning, if I'm not mistaken. And usually when I sit down to paint and get started on bigger canvases like this is when I throw on a YouTube video for me to sort of watch and listen to in the background. It was a good time for me to catch up on some of my favorite content creators. I do watch a lot of art content on YouTube, but this day in particular, I was watching a gamer who goes by Dansko8 on YouTube. I will put a link to his channel in the description. He plays a lot of Final Fantasy games, which is very my brand. So if you too like watching long plays of classic JRPGs, I definitely recommend you go check him out. I'm just sort of sitting here and watching myself go through this process, and it's very amusing, especially watching it back at like, I don't know, 30 times speed or something. But you know, this is the first stages of an acrylic painting. They always look very unrefined. I was just blocking in the color. I did the bricks in the background and the countertop. I started painting in the cardboard box. And that's pretty much all I got done on the first day. It took me about an hour and a half. This was in the evening, I think the next day, and it was really, this one might be just a tad boring because I was really just kind of like softening up some of the color. There's this thing in acrylic painting where you really have to layer in order to cover all of the canvas underneath your project so that little bits of white aren't poking out. I don't think I mentioned it in my past acrylic painting video, but my acrylic paint of choice is Liquitex Basics. That thus far has been perfect for me because they are, for the most part, light, fast paints, but they're also relatively inexpensive and they get the job done. I will eventually at some point graduate onto nicer paints or more professional paints, but for now this is working out perfectly for me, and you get a really good range of colors in those tubes, which gave me a lot of good color mixing opportunities. Especially because this piece is pretty monochrome, there's lots of browns and, yellows and stuff like that, but being able to mix the right tones of those colors is really good. It helps make the pieces of the art that you're looking at more distinctive from one another. As you can see, I also began painting in the pizza and all of the melty, browned, bubbly cheese. As for what I was watching this night, I was kind of on a Drawfee kick, so I was watching a lot of Drawfee. If for some reason you don't know who they are, I will put a link to their channel in the description as well. So I had this idea where there was supposed to be like a slice of pizza removed from the pie, which, it was just giving me a little bit more work because what I wanted to do was just get a little bit more color in the form of this red and white checkered piece of wax paper that I often see on the bottom of pizza boxes. It was actually in one of my reference images, and I was like, you know what, that's actually a really nice wrinkle. I think I'm gonna throw that in there. Again, another day where I was really focusing on smoothing out a lot of the big blocks of color. I painted in that shadow next to the pizza box. I kind of like cleaned up the box a little bit. I also worked on some of the texture of the bricks. I didn't want to put too much time into that part because it's sort of in the background and I didn't want it to like dominate the piece. What's going on in the foreground is of course the most important part, but I just thought it made it look a little bit more dimensional. This night, I caught up on some YouTube videos I had missed from the vintage hobbit herself, Rachel Maxey. So this one I did after I completed the 2 paintings from my video about Himi gouache. That had taken up 2 of my nights throughout the week, which definitely meant that I needed an extension on this piece in order to get it finished. And it was sort of late afternoon on Saturday, which is why you'll see a lot of like really bright sunlight shining through my windows. It is obscuring the piece a little bit, but I still think that you can see what I'm doing okay. I put in some details on the box again. I began painting my figure in the middle. And once I did that, that's when I started like really enjoying what I was looking at, because it started making the piece feel a little bit more cohesive, where I'm not just like something copy-pasted in the center of this image. It actually looks like I exist within the space that I'm painting. And what I'm creating, I have to admit, is just true horror. I had sent a picture of this in a text to one of my friends, and he was like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" I think even when I explained this painting and the concept for this painting to my boyfriend, he was like, "This is a great power you have. Use it wisely." But you know what? I don't think wisdom applies in a painting like this. Revenge is a dish that is best served hot and cheesy, in my opinion. I'm trying to remember what I was watching this day because I can't quite see the screen behind me, but I think I was binge watching old Doodle Date episodes. So this was night 5, and this was when I just filled in the rest of the empty spots of the canvas and began rendering and smoothing out as much as I could. It took me about an hour. It was really just important to me to sort of finish the major portions of the painting itself. I don't even remember what I was watching this night. It was pretty much a YouTube variety hour. I wasn't paying attention. I was just letting it autoplay whatever it would come up with because I was really focusing on what I was doing. And this isn't even the last night that I did this painting. It's just the last night that I am showing to you in this video. Hello. Jesus. This is my official check-in. I'm on night 5 now, I think. What is time? It's been a while since I've done a painting of this size. Ugh, you guys can't see me. I think the last time I painted anything on a canvas around these dimensions was late last summer. I've been working small a lot, and I didn't realize how much it takes me to actually crack out a painting like this and have it come out looking halfway decent. I've made a lot of progress and it's looking very good, but it's just going to require a lot of polishing, and if I don't want this video to be 5 days long, I'm going to have to sign off here, and you will see me again shortly for the final reveal. If you've watched this far, you're a saint, and I appreciate you, especially because of the absurd nature of this painting. I think I will just reward you with the premiere look of the Pizza Rage monster. I may not eat pizza again for a really long time. See you in a bit. Well, friends, I done it. Drum roll, please. It's so horrific. So here we are, the finished piece. Oh, it's like I'm reaching out to my own hand with my other hand. I'll save you. I'll rescue you from your box prison. Yeah, lots of brown spots where cheese has been burned. Sauce, blood pouring from the eyes and mouth. Terrible, drippy strings of cheese. Greasy handprints. I am so proud. I'm so proud. I think my ancestors are proud. Or at least the people in my heritage and other East Coasties who really appreciate a good pie. They might be proud of me as well. There are just some details that I couldn't wait to show you guys. Like, I had painted the pie originally so that it had a very, like, sort of flat, straight edge here, and I had to kind of give the impression of the hot gooiness, so a lot of the cheese that ended up dripping over the sides was added in later. The grease spots on the wax paper was added in later. All of the terrible details in the face and on the head and on the shoulders, all of that stuff was added in later. I jazzed up this bubble. I'm so proud of the bubble. I'm also proud of the grease spots. It's just, yeah. So, this took me, I want to say, somewhere between 9 and 10 hours in total over the course of several nights in different sessions, sort of broken up. Yeah, this has been a wild ride. I've enjoyed every single part of it. I regret nothing. I don't know how I could. It's just, I mean, just look at it. It's artistry. Let this serve as a warning to all of you. You must never cross an artist. If you make me mad, I will paint about it in a very specific way. So I'm proud of myself. I am. I really am. And I cannot wait to reveal this painting to the person for which it is intended. Now, the sad part is that it's not like a commission or anything, so I don't think I'm going to be making any money off of it. At least not right away, who knows. However, I do think this was a worthwhile endeavor. And I'm glad I got to share it with all of you as well, because this is giving you what I think is a very accurate representation of the work that I would say I typically do in this studio. I guess it's been my habits over the course of my painting journey in the past several years that I don't really do a ton of art. Like, I would say that I've completed less than 20 paintings, and I space them out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't work on one and then immediately start another one. I really have to be inspired by something, an idea or something that needs to motivate me and propel me into that mode where I really get cracking and I churn a painting out. And this is pretty accurate. It usually takes me on average about a week, and sometimes longer, of course, if the painting is larger. But anyhow, what the point I'm trying to make is that up until this point, I've really only ever done small art pieces to show you guys on this YouTube channel, and I think it would be good of me to every once in a while devote some time to showing you some of the larger pieces that I've been working on, because those are honestly my favorites. They're often the ones that I spend the most time on, and because of all of the hard work that I put into them, I end up being the most proud of them. And even though this is by far the most absurd thing I have ever created. Let me just look at it. It's great. I do think that I am showing a true representation of the artwork that comes out of the Serena Slack Art Studio. So that is something that, of course, I want as an accurate depiction of my life as an artist in this room for all of you at home. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I did. You know that I did. And if you liked it, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, because there's more art to be made. And until I see you next time, ciao!